Have you been taking probiotics but still struggle with bloating, digestive issues, or even skin breakouts? Did you know that your gut health is about more than just taking a probiotic pill? And there's a reason why you might still feel unwell, even if you're doing seemingly all the right things. In this video, we're going to dive into why gut health is so much more than just probiotics, what might be going wrong, and how you can actually start healing your gut for real long-term results. So, let's just get started and talk about why gut health is so important. Your gut is not just responsible for digesting food. In fact, it's actually linked with almost every part of your health, from your mood, your energy, your immune system, to your hormones and your skin health, to blood sugar regulation. That's because your gut produces neurotransmitters like serotonin, which can impact how you feel on a daily basis. Your gut microbiome, the bugs in your gut, is also responsible for the way certain hormones are used, metabolized, activated, and actually disposed of. And so for women, poor gut health doesn't just mean constipation or bloating. You might feel more fatigued, you might notice more hormonal acne, or you might experience mood swings and even brain fog. That's because the gut directly impacts how your body regulates hormones and deals with stress. So, why are probiotics not a cure-all if I'm talking about connecting the gut health to all of these other pieces? Probiotics are the good bacteria in your gut that keep everything balanced. They support digestion, they help you absorb nutrients, and they can even help produce vitamins like B12. But here's the thing, just taking a probiotic isn't enough if your overall environment is out of balance. I'm often talking to my patients about this concept of the gut like a garden. And if you've heard me speak before, you've probably heard me mention the gut like a garden. What does this mean? Well, when we look at a garden, most gardens have some weeds. Like, unless you have a perfect garden, your garden is likely to have some weeds. Now, if we were logically going to go into that garden and, plant flowers or plant tomatoes or plant something else, we probably wouldn't go in to that garden with weeds and just dump our seeds and hope for the best, right? And in this analogy, the probiotics are the seeds. What we'd probably want to do is we would want to go in, we would dig up the weeds, we would take out the stuff that probably isn't supposed to be there. We'd look at the soil quality, right? We would want a soil quality that's not dull and light brown. We're looking for that dark, rich, nutrient dense soil. And then what we do is we'd go in with our seeds. And at that point, our seeds are willing to take up residence and willing to grow. And this is where people go wrong with their digestive health. This is where they go wrong. They have a digestive issue. They take a probiotic and they think everything is done. Well, what happens is as soon as they finish the probiotic, the effects are gone. Or, worst case scenario, taking the probiotic actually makes them feel worse. And so they end up being in a worse off position than they were before they started. And so, one of the reasons why probiotics can make someone feel worse is because there's not the right bugs in the environment. Let me talk through that a little bit. If you've ever started taking a probiotic and felt more bloated or had more breakouts, this could be because of a number of reasons. One of the things that's really important to understand when we're looking at our digestive health is the ecosystem of bugs that are in your gut. And so I like to look at the microbiome as a neighborhood, right? And so if you have bad guys or bad bugs in the neighborhood, the likelihood that good bugs are going to want to be there and live there and stay there is probably low. What can also happen in a condition called small intestinal bacteria overgrowth is we will have bugs that are up in the small intestine that should be in the large intestine. Now, what does that look like clinically and from a symptom perspective? If we really break it down, the bugs in the large intestine are supposed to help with fermentation because truly, once we get to the bottom of the intestine at the large intestine, we really want to shape things up and ship them out. We really want them to go out into the toilet, essentially. When we have bugs in the small intestine, this is often for the absorption of nutrients and other really useful tools. Now, if we put bugs that were supposed to be in the large intestine into the small intestine, we're probably going to have some problems, right? We're going to have fermentation where we otherwise shouldn't, which is going to cause bloating, which is going to cause gas. And so what can happen is if we take probiotics and we have the wrong bugs in the wrong spot, those bugs can actually break down the probiotic and cause fermentation where there shouldn't be. So now we have gas, bloating, diarrhea, and sometimes we can even have non-digestive symptoms such as joint pain, headaches, nausea, not feeling well, skin issues, eczema, psoriasis, acne. And this is all because we have the wrong bugs in the wrong spots. One of the other problems that we see is that when you take a probiotic and you have bad bugs, oftentimes the probiotic is just going to be expelled, right? The bugs that are there that are taking up residence aren't in a good atmosphere, a good neighborhood, a good environment to house those good bugs that should be there. And so we actually see this example in the fertility setting. In the fertility setting, what we want to see is we actually want to see a strain of probiotic called lactobacillus in the uterus. We know that research tells us that when women have more lactobacillus in the vaginal canal and in the uterus, they're more likely to have a successful pregnancy. And now what we also know is when we just give these individuals lactobacillus probiotics orally and vaginally, some women actually do not take up that lactobacillus in the uterus or in the vagina. And the question is why? Again, it's this theory of whatever is there, the bad bugs are going to kill off or expel the good bugs so they cannot live there, right? They will not take up residence. So how do we make them take up residence? We have to go back to the beginning. We have to look at the gut like a garden, the uterus like a garden, the vagina like a garden. They all have a microbiome. And so what we need to do is we need to kill off the bad bugs. And then once we've killed those off, we then introduce the good bugs and hopefully create an environment reducing inflammation and all of the other pieces so that those bugs actually want to live there. So it's really important to get a unique approach to look at your digestive health when we're deciding on what the first move is. And when we look at the skin, we know that there's a connection, and you actually might be surprised to learn that the health of your skin can be directly linked to what's going on in your gut. When your gut is inflamed or imbalanced, it can show up in your skin in the form of acne, eczema, or even premature aging. Probiotics can actually help reduce systemic inflammation because we know that inflammation is a link with skin health. We know that when you have inflammation in the gut, it's going to come out on the skin. Again, probiotics are not going to reduce inflammation if we don't fix the other pieces in the gut. So to truly improve your skin, we would need to take a holistic approach. We need to look at the diet, figure out what's causing the inflammation or what caused the bad bug overgrowth in the first place, cutting out processed foods, including anti-inflammatory foods, and actually making the digestive system stronger. What does that mean? Well, the things that make the digestive system weak or influence the microbiome in a negative way, aging, stress, hormonal changes and challenges. We see this postpartum. We see this in perimenopause. We know that the hormonal changes that happen can influence the microbiome in a negative way. And so we need to work on that and build that back up, right? And so if you really want to heal your gut and feel better, it's not just about adding a probiotic. We need to look at your entire lifestyle, especially if you are a woman dealing with hormonal challenges, stress, or even perimenopause. And so here are some steps you can actually start taking today. Number one is diet diversity, eating a wide variety of fiber-rich whole foods like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains can actually help feed the good bacteria in your gut. Prebiotics like fibers are what the probiotics feed on, and these are essential. So this is how we have these good bugs take up residence. We add in foods like onions, garlic, asparagus. Stress management is huge. Stress is a gut killer. This is going to alter your microbiome in a negative way. And this can also lead to digestive imbalances. This can lead to the bigger production of cortisol. So practicing stress reducing techniques like yoga or meditation can actually help you with your gut health. But a lot of my patients end up needing more intense nervous system supports like mushroom complexes and valerian complex, GABA, L-theanine, and all of those other pieces. It's really important you speak to a healthcare provider before taking any of those. And hydration and sleep are core. Again, when I talk to my patients about healing their gut, I often go back to what got you there in the first place? How did we get to the place where your digestion is a mess? And often it is poor diet, lack of sleep, high stress, alcohol. And so we need to make sure that we're coming back to the basics, drinking water, sleeping. These are simple, powerful ways to help your gut function optimally. When you're dehydrated, your digestion is going too slow. And when you're sleep deprived, your gut can't repair itself properly overnight. And so, gut health is more than just probiotics. You need to take a holistic approach that includes diet, stress management, proper hydration, and sleep. It's about balancing your gut from all angles so you can truly feel better inside and out. If you have questions, please send me a comment or you can book a free call to see how we can work together to help your digestive health.